And we're back with Dr. Marnel Niles Goins, the Dean of the College of Science and
Good
Humanities.
morning.
You've been on this stream a few times
I
before, but
have.
just quickly remind us a little bit about, your college, some of the majors that you house.
Sure. Yes. Hi. Good morning. I am Marnel Niles Goins. It's great to be back. I have three schools in my college. So the School of Humanities, the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, and the School of Science, Math, and Engineering. So the majors vary greatly. So range from digital writing and narrative design to biology, to biochemistry, to psychology, forensic and legal psychology, criminal justice, neuroscience, communication, and also biomedical engineering and mechanical engineering. And we have a number of minors as well, which include sociology, English, philosophy, theology, and religious studies. And I could go on.
And I should have mentioned you're now our longest tenured dean.
I am, yes, yes, I win already.
There you go. So tell us, you're working on building out a college advisory board now,
We are,
right?
yes.
How many people have you found so far? Who else are you looking for?
Yes.
What type of alumni?
Yes. And that's really timely because we have our second college advisory board meeting tomorrow. And so we've got 4 board members who range in terms of the year they graduated, the major, and also in terms of their career. Our interim advisory board chair is Wanda Witherspoon, who is a VP at Sesame. I always want to say Sesame Street, but it's not. But it goes by Sesame Industries, which covers Sesame Street and the other Sesame products. It's really like, can you bring in some of the product? And she's wonderful. She'll actually be here tomorrow. And then we also have Fabian Sandoval, who is local. He does Emerson Clinical Research Institute. We've got Ian Hopper, who is a diplomat. And then we also have Laura Weinrich, who works for AM Water.
And what, if you could say, would be your top, maybe small, medium, and large goal?
Yes, yeah. So I will say our immediate need always is going to be for scholarships for students, because we know that this climate, students don't necessarily want to take out loans. They don't want to go in debt. And then we also know that the cost of living has increased so substantially that even going to college, buying textbooks, living on campus is really expensive. So always, for me, part one is scholarships for students for any of our majors. We do have some endowed scholarships already, but the ones that we're specifically focusing on this year is a scholarship for psychology students, the Victor Indrasano Scholarship. And then we've got a new scholarship, the Dr. Jacqueline Black Memorial Scholarship. She has been at Marymount for about 40 years as a professor, and she passed in September, so last month. And so we've just started that scholarship. That'll be for any student in the School of Science, Math, and Engineering. So that includes students majoring in, as I mentioned earlier, neuroscience, biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, biochemistry, or biology. We also have a master's program in medical sciences. So any of those majors would be eligible to apply for this scholarship. But this scholarship is new, and so immediate need are scholarships. For some of the other things that I want to highlight, we do have a video production studio, and our communication program uses it. We also have a digital writing and narrative design program. We'll be using it. And it's a beautiful space. We're getting it renovated right now. So new cameras, updated software, a mixer board, podcast equipment, even, updating the locks would be wonderful. And so we want to make sure that that's a place that not just students in the communication program, but students all over campus can use it so they can really up their social media skills. And I want to say, you didn't ask me about this, but we've got some wonderful students behind the camera right now. I'm not even going to look at them, but I can see all their teeth and they're smiling. And I will say, having them be able to use that equipment and also train newer students who are coming in will be really, really helpful. And so that video production studio is not just going to help the communication students specifically, but the college and the university even more broadly. And then the last thing is bionic arms. And we have a 3D, I'll say several 3D printers. And we have specifically a faculty member in one of our engineering programs who is a master at 3D printing. So he's printed things from a Baby Yoda, which we'll be giving one away tomorrow during our hub crawl plug, and to 3D prosthetic arms. And so that's one thing that he and the students are working on. with right now, and that's an immediate need. And he wants to do it to help folks in areas that may not be able to afford it. Those are $500 a piece. And so even if you can't contribute to one bionic arm, even a portion of it will help us be able to purchase the equipment to make that arm, which is actually, if you're ever on campus and that faculty member is doing some 3D printing, I do invite you to come and see just what marvelous work that he's doing.
And Eric Bubar will be on the show at 11 to
Yes.
show his favorite toys. That's always
And you,
one of the
and you notice
highlights of the stream.
I didn't even mention the faculty member's name, but you knew exactly the wonderful work he's doing because he's really known at Marymount for doing such great work.
And I know you come from a communications background, so
Yes.
you pointed out our students. I'll say
Yes.
you're also going to be hosting a lot of these interviews, which
Right.
I always think is great to have
Yes.
them on camera as well.
Yes.
I've been on too many of these. People are sick of me. But
We're never sick of you. We're never sick of you. We're glad you're here. And I'm glad you pointed out the communication program because, some of our students who've come through the communication program are now wonderful graduate students who are still behind the camera. And so that gift will be long lasting.
So on that thought, let me actually ask to wrap up because I was going to ask about your initiatives. You already
Yes.
covered that. So given that, what are some of the maybe cool jobs that some students have moved on to recently, given these new opportunities?
Yes. Okay, so a lot actually, but I know we don't have much time. And I will say, because my undergrad and graduate degrees are in communication, we tend to think, okay, well now our students are going to be like behind the camera or they want to do media, which is wonderful, but that's not everything that they do. So some of them will go on and stay in the communication field and become professors, yay, or deans, whereas others will work for larger organizations. And what's really interesting is some tech companies nowadays are looking for communication majors because they find them to be really creative. So it might be something like copy editing, it might be, and that's also for digital writing and narrative design, writing script for companies, whereas others will become interns and then work for even Fabian Sandoval, who is our board member at Emerson Clinical Research Institute. Some of our majors go on to work for him and work on doing clinical trials, especially for people from traditionally marginalized groups who haven't really been featured in clinical trials. So it depends on the major. Others become forensic and legal psychologists. Others will go on to master's program. Others will work in the FBI, which folks think are kind of cool, or the CIA. It's not like what you see on television, but it is really amazing in terms of processing crime scenes. And that's just some. I think I could go on forever, but I think Jimmy will kick me off at some point.
Yeah, well, we can use that opportunity to sign off now. Dr. Niles Goins, thank you so much as always for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone.